Welcome, everyone. In today's explainer, we're going to break down something you see every single day, the price tag. We're going to look at the hidden strategies companies use to decide exactly how much you pay for, well, everything.
So, let's kick things off with a question you've probably wondered about while walking around Mongkok. A new iPhone, thousands of dollars. A bubble tea, just $30. The difference is massive. But here's the secret. Neither of those prices is an accident. They are both chosen very, very carefully. Let's find out why.
Okay, before we dive into all the clever strategies, we need to get on the same page about what a price really is. It sounds simple, I know, but there's a deeper way to look at it that really changes the game. At its most basic, yeah, the price is the number on the tag. It's the amount of money you have to pay. But you know what? That's really only half the story. Because price is so much more than just money. It's really the total value you give up to get something. Think about it for a second. It's the time you spent getting to the store, the effort you made, and it's also all the other things you decided not to buy with that same money. It's a trade. So how in the world do companies decide on that one specific number? Well, it turns out most of them have a kind of secret playbook, and it's built around three main strategies. Let's open it up and see what's inside. At the end of the day, it all comes down to these three things. Companies are constantly looking at 1. You, the customer. 2. Their own costs. And 3. Their competitors. So let's break down each one of these. First up, let's talk about the strategy that is all about you. It's pricing based on what you, the customer, believe a product is worth. Now, this is really important. With this strategy, the company doesn't start by thinking about its factory or its costs. It starts by thinking about you. They're not asking, how much did this cost to make? They're asking, how much value does this give my customer? And what are they willing to pay for that value? Haidilao is the perfect example, right? You're not just paying for the meat and vegetables. You're paying for the whole experience. The free snacks while you wait, the famous noodle dance, the incredible service. By adding all these features, they boost the value in your mind, which lets them charge a higher price. That's value-added pricing in action. Okay, on to our second strategy. This one is less about feelings and customer value and a lot more about numbers and spreadsheets. This is all about the company's own costs. This is a much more traditional way of doing things. The logic is actually beautifully simple. A company figures out all the costs of making and selling something, then they just add a little bit extra for the profit they want to make, and boom, that's the price. The formula is just cost plus profit equals price. You see this everywhere in Hong Kong. Think about a local bakery and an egg tart. The owner knows the cost of the flour, the eggs, the rent for the shop. They add all that up and then add a few dollars on top for their profit. And that's the price you pay for that delicious egg tart. And that brings us to our third and final main strategy. Because sometimes the price has less to do with the customer or the costs and everything to do with what the competition is up to. With this approach, a company is basically looking over its shoulder the whole time. Their main focus is on their rivals. They see what their competitors are charging, and then they set their own price based on that. Maybe a little bit higher, a little bit lower, or maybe an exact match. You see this constantly. Just think about the delivery apps on your phone. If Foodpanda starts offering free delivery, what does Deliveroo do? They usually follow pretty quick, right? Or think about the bus fares from KMB and Citybus for the exact same route. They're always watching each other and reacting. So that's all great, but what happens when a company launches something that's totally new, something with no history? Well, they face a huge decision, and they usually pick one of two main paths. So they can either go high with what's called market skimming. They start with a really high price to skim all that profit from the early fans who just have to have it first, or they can go low. This is called market penetration. They start with a low price to get as many people as possible to buy it really fast. Two opposite ideas for two very different goals. For market skimming, just think of a new iPhone or a PlayStation 5 when it first comes out. The price is really high, but it works because the brand image is super strong. People get excited to be the first to own it, and it's really hard for some other company to just show up and make a cheaper one. And for market penetration, a perfect Hong Kong example is a new payment app like PayMe when it first got started. They offered rewards and really easy low-cost transfers to get everyone on board as fast as possible. That low entry price got them a ton of users and made it really difficult for new competitors to jump in. Okay, we've covered quite a bit of ground here, so let's just pull it all together.
What is the one big thing you should take away from all of this as a business student and just as a regular person who buys things? The most important thing to remember is this: price is never random. It is always a strategy. Every single price tag tells a story. It's a story about what the company thinks of you, how much it costs them to do business, and what they think of their competition. It is always a deliberate choice. So from now on, you have the tools to be an everyday economist. The next time you tap your Octopus card, or buy a coffee, or look at a new pair of shoes, just take a second and ask yourself, what pricing strategy are they using on me right now? And you'll start to see the answers everywhere.